Woo! Spicy. Asteria Music Festival has dropped their lineup for 2021. We're like 8 or 9 weeks away now. I've been patiently waiting for this one for a minute now to see what they have in store for us this year. And man, I'm actually excited. I'm hyped. Some of you guys may have never heard of Asteria Music Festival, and that's kind of understandable. If you're not from Florida, you might not necessarily be familiar with it, but it's a very intimate festival. It's been going on now for 3 years, and this is gonna be its 4th year. They have always kind of leaned like growing a lot of things locally. So like the first lineup, for example, most of the first lineup was tons of Orlando and like just Florida's best talent, like local DJs, producers, all that. And that was really it, and it was cool. And then you had a couple headliners. You had Sullivan King before most people knew who he was. We had Whipped Cream, again, before most people knew who she was. There was Nitty Gritty 2, again, before most people knew who he was. And then the most notable was Joker, who's like the father of dubstep. He's like one of the OG of the OG. They basically try and give a lot of the local talent a stage to play on, a cool performance and stuff like that, while each year kind of progressing and booking slightly bigger and bigger talent as it goes on. So the second year we roll around and we have, again, a stacked local talent lineup at the bottom, but we also have MLK, which another legend in dubstep, seriously. And then we have Chime. I think this was either his first set or like one of his first sets ever as his Florida debut. And then Mark the Beast, another legend in dubstep, in my opinion, super good. I feel like he's very underrated too. And then Pixel Terror, which they were coming up and they're really good. And I think now they got music and video games too. So like that's pretty sick. And then if you want to see real quick, we go into the gradual progression of year 3, which that's where like the biggest level up in my opinion was for Asteria. It was like the Disciple Takeover, and that was like Virtual Riot, Barely Alive, Dodging Fusky, all these guys. And then they brought Feed Me, which is a huge one. There was IO, rest in peace. No Mana was there, and then again, a bunch of local talent. And noteworthy, More Kismet was their first set ever. And it was really cool to see that performance, and the growth from what is now 2 years ago to now is insane in regards to how much More Kismet has blown up. I just wanted to go over that to give you an idea as to what Asteria's lineups are like. So they really kind of book people that aren't necessarily booked all the time. Like they might, like the headliner might be somebody who's popular and poppin', whatever. A lot of the undercard though is very, it's just different talent. Like it's artists that very different, like they're creative, different creative processes. You're gonna hear different sounds. It's not gonna be like, I mean, no offense to any of these other events, but like a Lost Lands or a Bass Canyon where it's just like, you know what you're getting into. It's gonna be just straight heavy dubstep the entire way through for the most part. Maybe a set or two here and there that are different. Asteria is very diverse, but still in the grounds of like bass music for the most part, whether it's drum and bass or experimental. So this is the Asteria 2021 lineup. It's looking pretty damn solid, I'm not gonna lie. Some surprising acts. Now we're gonna start off from the top, bro. Borgor. Was not expecting Borgor to headline, but yo, considering the amount of just rescheduling, clauses, and the competition between other neighboring festivals in this timeline, I mean, we have Forbidden Kingdom, Sunset Music Festival, we have Shipwreck Music Festival, and just other like bigger day events too that have been going on. I know like some bigger names for Asteria might be kind of difficult to get, especially with like just all the moving parts that are going on right now in the music industry. So Borgor I'm not expecting, but hey, you know what? He's probably gonna pull a solid chunk crowd to the festival, some first timers, and that's honestly pretty good. Rusko, we already know, man. Like Rusko is gonna be just like wobbles and just a fun time. He always brings high energy to his sets. We love it. Ikali, another great performance. He's in the trap game. I always like his sets when I see him. Very good. I really enjoyed his set at Buku. That set at Buku was just really freaking dope. That was a fun one. So I'm kind of hyped to see Akali. It's been a while. Bonnie and Clyde, they actually throw down. I haven't seen them in a minute too, man. And this is like excluding the pandemic, obviously, because I could say that about everybody. Like, yo, I haven't seen this dude in a while. Yeah, it's been a year. But I haven't seen them in a while. If we cut the pandemic, still been a decent amount of time. But they always bring a big crowd in Florida. There's a party. Kid, another one. I actually don't know if I've seen Kid, surprisingly. Maybe I had like very early in his career, but not sure. But I know he does done a good set. From what I hear, good performances. Netsky. This is a big one. This is probably the biggest one for me. No questions. I think the only reason why he's not like in the headliner slot is solely because in the US, he maybe doesn't move as many tickets as he would. But like overseas in Europe, like where he's from, he can sell out arenas, stadiums, because he's so big. He's a drum and bass artist. Arguably, I mean, he has to be like top 3 in existence right now. Like it's a big deal in my opinion, at least. I've been listening to this guy for a long time. I love his music. I still listen to his first and second album pretty regularly. Literally one of my all-time favorite artists. And I know Mig, the founder, one of the founders of Asteria, he is a huge Netsky fan. So I know like that's like a goal right there to have booked Netsky for your festival. So proud of you, and I'm probably the most stoked for this entire event. Whipped Cream is coming back to Asteria a whopping 4 years later. It's crazy to see her growth from back then to now. And it's also nice to see some female representation on the lineup. Now we're getting into the mid-tier card, I guess. Yeah, the mid-tier card. Still some names that most of you guys might know, maybe not. I mean, I know there's a number of names I am not really familiar with, but I'm kind of keeping it that way because I do love the discovering these artists at the event live, especially at Asteria, because there's usually a number of artists I'm just not familiar with at all. And then, you know, I'm just like, hey, you know, who's playing at this stage? Oh wow, this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, something to look forward to. But we got Axel Thirstoff. I think I'm saying that right. Let me check that. Yeah, I totally butchered that. It was Axel Thesleff. My bad, dog. I don't know who you are, but I wonder what the show's gonna be like. We got Chi, who you're probably familiar with. He's got some really cool beats. Most of you guys probably know him through like Subtronics or Dead Beats. I saw him on the G Jones tour with Saruda. Crushed it, and I was super stoked to see him. I think honestly, besides G Jones, I was most hyped to see Chi. I got there early to make sure I didn't miss his set. Chet Porter, another great name. Gives me Oki vibes because Oki, Chet Porter. Champa, the name sounds familiar, but I might be confusing them with somebody else. Not entirely sure. Delta Heavy, another awesome name to see on here. Been around for a long time. Definitely gonna catch that set. Digital Ethos, another one who I don't think I've managed to see yet, surprisingly. Now I think about it. I've always wanted to see Digital Ethos, but I don't think I've ever got the chance to. Or if I did, it was a conflict with somebody else's set. So I think Asteria might be my first Digital Ethos set. Okay, Dusty Cloud. I think I'm familiar with their music. Next up, we have Fytch. Fytch is definitely a noteworthy artist. Fytch was supposed to play at the last Asteria, but I think he wasn't able to make it because of something. My guess was something visa related or travel related. Some of the music he's been making over the past couple of years is really good. I'm very intrigued to see what his set is gonna be like. And I feel like the set's gonna probably be an emotional one, but like in a good way. Like it's gonna be the type that makes your nipples kind of hard, you know? I don't wanna miss out on Fytch, to be honest. So I'm definitely gonna be at Fytch. Jason Leach, I'm not familiar with at all, but I might peep that. Something about the name just kind of tells me I might like the music. We'll see though. I can't fucking read that. What? Bro, I don't know what the fuck that says. Kumarion, I believe that's how you pronounce. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I had trouble reading that logo, not gonna lie, I had to search it up. But looking at his SoundCloud, he's got releases on Monster Cat, UKF, Sable Valley, and definitely some bass. I want to see that set because it's like drum and bassy, and I'm so with that. So shout out Kumarion, you just got a new fan. Lizzy Jane, she's been doing some more national touring and stuff pre-pandemic. She was local from here. So she was a resident DJ at the Ritz in Tampa. So in Florida, you definitely know Lizzy Jane. Puts down a solid set. Manila Killa, I know the name, but I honestly can't think of any music. And I feel like I'm uncultured for that. I'll peep it though, I'll peep it. Megalodon, if you're in dubstep, you know this. Megalodon, he's been around for a while, and he's got good performances, man. Very aggressive sets, heavy. You know what you're getting into. That's gonna be like a nice, like standard heavy dubstep set. Mersive, another dude, been popping off with the music festival scene. I actually caught some of Mersive's set at Buku as I was leaving the festival. I actually liked what I heard, but I haven't got the chance to see Immersive like straight up since then. But I know they're on a bunch of other festival lineups too this year, so glad to see that. More Kismet, I'm definitely gonna be there. And I think a lot of Asterians are gonna be there as well. You know, it's definitely just more noteworthy name, and I just gotta show support. Like, more Kismet slayed that first set. Like, the energy was crazy, unmatched. Like, it was a very proud moment. So I definitely want to keep up and see more Kismet again. Nautic, I'm also gonna be at that set. I've been listening to remixes they've done over the past few years. I like the music, and I actually hope I can get enough footage to do a set recap for that. Please and Thank You. I don't think I've actually listened to Please and Thank You, but I know they've messaged me a number of times every time they're in Orlando to get me to come out to the show, but I just never have. Sorry. Usually I'm like working or something, so I'll see you at Asteria. Shanghai Doom, Wakan, you know what I'm saying? We got a Wakan artist on there. I saw them at Home Base. I like the set, it was a good set, so I'm actually probably gonna catch that. Silent Child. I have not been keeping up with Silent Child, but I've been keeping up with the numbers. If that makes any sense. Like, I follow the releases. I haven't really like listened to it, but I've seen the numbers, and I'm like just seeing the growth, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. But I really want to pop that Silent Child cherry like live. First time I really listened to Silent Child at Asteria. It's because I know Mig's been working with them with Silent Child, so I think I want to see how that worked for the first time live. I don't know if that's like rude or not, but that's just kind of how it's been. I'm like, oh, Mig's backing this dude. All right, I'm with it. But I'm gonna wait until I see him at Asteria, because I know they're gonna be at Asteria. So Down. I actually am so down with So Down. There was like agents sending So Down a suggestion for some music festivals that we were looking at the buying process for. And I was like, who the hell is So Down? Because I kept seeing the name pop up, and I'm like, I've never heard of them, but like they're sending them along with all these bass artists. And I really, really like So Down. I did some digging into the music, you know, to see if they were gonna be a good fit for this music festival. I didn't think they fit necessarily that music festival, but the vibe is lit. It basically was like funky, like Grizz almost. I followed him everything, so I was like, I wanna see what he does in his career. So I'm definitely gonna be at the So Down set, because I wanna see what they do live. Because I enjoyed the mixes too. The other thing, I listened to the mix. Spore, I've seen the name. I'm not familiar with the music. Stir Fry, I have no idea who that is, but I guess we'll find out. Stuka, I'm super stoked for. Stuka has some really, really heavy sound design, and I love it. It reminds me of Trampa. Like, I always kind of said, like, yo, Stuka low-key is like a new gen Trampa. Something. I have been trying to see something for like 4 years. I think maybe 5 at this point. I don't know. It's been a long time. And the one time something was in town, I was like, I had just gotten broken up with. So like, I was at Disney with my friends, and they were trying to cheer me up, and then I was kind of sad because I'm like, bro, something's in town. Yeah, it was a whole deal. But I'm definitely gonna be at that set. You're not gonna not see me there. I might record a lot of that one, to be honest. Recno, same deal. Gonna go see Recno. I like the music I've heard so far from Recno. I'm gonna be there. Yeti, bro, late night staple. Like, Yeti always is playing at like 2 a.m, bro. So yeah, I'm gonna be there. Yeti's got some good ass songs. Supporting talent, we got Cultist, Evaluation, Paper Mushrooms, Xenon Dream. The only name I know from that line is Paper Mushrooms off the top of my head. And he plays a lot of events here in Florida. He played FK. He's played Asteria, I think, every single year, I think. Yeah. He's played a lot of local events here, so it's cool to see him on there. Now we're getting down to the official after hours takeovers, along with just the local talent, some of the local smaller guys that are here. And shout out to all these collectives and groups that have, you know, partnered up with Asteria to do these takeovers and kind of like basically sponsor some artists and like, yo, these are the guys we're doing. So I'm definitely hyped for Headbang Society and Code Lockdown's takeovers, because I know like they've been doing a lot for the scene. Some of the more noteworthy names from down here, at least the ones I know, like half of these I'm not really familiar with, but I'm just gonna kind of name, for the sake of keeping the video short, the ones I do know. Bonker, you guys love Bonker if you watch my channel in the past, I'll say 2 years, because I've had a whole year gap. Yeah, Bonker, that is Sammy, the boy, homie. Throws down awesome ass sets, and clearly you guys really like them because you run up the numbers on those sets, man. Like, anything with Bonker in it is always a good time. Bones, very underrated, man. He actually is a really good producer. I got him in for Forbidden Kingdom last year, because I was like, yo, like he actually produces and it's like good production. I'm pretty sure at a Bygor release a year ago. Might have multiple at this point. So really hyped to see him play on a bigger stage. Chimera, another one, that's my boy. Yeah, bro, that set's gonna be dope. I'm definitely gonna be there because I haven't seen him since Forbidden Kingdom again. I hooked everybody up with Forbidden Kingdom slots, I'm sorry. Yeah, so he's gonna be throwing down. I think he really earned it, man, because he did like a whole mixed contest for Asteria. At the time, he was basically like the only like RIDDIM representation running for the lineup. So I was like, yeah, we definitely need him on there. So I'm glad to see he was on there. Jandi, I'm really stoked to see him on here because we met for the first time at the last Asteria, and that was like by chance, and that's like literally how we became friends. Was there, like, it just happened. We didn't recognize each other, nothing. It wasn't until like the conversation we had, and I was like, wait, you're WHOISBRIAN? Wait, you're Jandi? Oh shit. I think he was like 2 months into his production grind at that point, 2 or 3 months in. I'm stoked, but he's been crushing it, so you know I'm there to support. Odyssey's another local. He's been doing it for a couple years now. I think he's played every Asteria as well. He's got really heavy sets, so if you're into like heavy dubstep, I definitely go check out Odyssey. Stayns, you already know what's good with the boy. Another super talented producer. Gonna be at that set. We're gonna get the set recap. We're gonna do all that shit. Be there, be square, fam. Tink, another one. Heavy dubstep. I know he's been doing stuff for Headbang Society. He's actually been producing. I've seen him a number of times. He was like a DJ for the fraternities and stuff by the university here in Orlando. So like I would just see him a lot in passing, or like see him perform at, you know, whatever little bar or whatever little show. So it's actually cool to see him on like an actual lineup. Definitely gonna show some support there. So mega shout out to the team at Asteria, Mig, John, and everyone else involved. Now, I know it's been a crazy ass year, but you guys always do so much for the community and literally can never thank you guys enough. If you're interested in going to Asteria, I would highly suggest it. If you have the money to do so, the means to do so, go to it. It's a different type of festival experience. It's way more intimate. It's just different, man. They always offer a lot too for the attendee. They had classes like music production classes, sound design classes last year. They had branding and marketing classes last year for artists, with actual industry people coming in and telling you this stuff direct, like who they've worked for, showing examples of the work they did with these artists to rebrand everything. They look out for you and they care about the festival goer experience. You know, there's always cool like local vendors, great food trucks. Seriously, if you're considering it and you have the means to do it, I would highly suggest you go. It's not all about the lineup when it comes to events like this. And this is a good time to discover lots of new artists who maybe in the next 2 to 5 years are going to be huge. So it's cool to be there early. That's all I'm saying. That being said, though, I will say the sets that I'm most excited to see is definitely going to be Netsky, Bonker, Chimera, Stayns, Jandi. It's like all the little guys, but that's literally, I mean, come on. This is the best talent. And then also something. I'm going to slide that in there. I hope you guys are good. Trust, I got some more stuff in the works. Take care of yourselves, and don't forget to drink some water. Let's do it.